Ivana, you are my most favorite Argentine person on the planet.
Oh.
So I want to start off this interview today. I mean, you are a Renaissance woman. I feel like anything I throw at you, you pick it up and you run. Like I could say, I want to be president. And you would be like, Sarah, I can make you president. And then you make 10 calls and tomorrow I'll be on the ballot. You do everything and you do everything so well.
Oh,
So
I love you.
let's talk about how we met. So we have a mutual friend, which I didn't know at the time was a mutual friend, Maria Vasquez. And one day I was shopping randomly in Palermo. It's only my second year kind of spending time in Argentina. And I walk, I'm an American. We're pretty, our minds are open. Lingerie is so hot in America right now. I walk into the store and I'm like, holy cow, like, it's everything that I love. So my friend had been wanting to buy me something. And of course, I have a lot of things. She didn't know what to buy me. She's like, I'm buying you lingerie, which is a little weird to walk in with your girlfriend and she's buying you lingerie. Mm-hmm. But it was a gift that she knew I would like. So I go back home to, the farm. And I call up Maria and I'm like, oh my God, do you know this brand? And she's like, yeah. One of her friends, her husband's friends was dating Ivana, and then I find out we have a real connection. I'm like, call her right now. So she does, and then I came up with this wild idea that Maria, who has more of a conservative, I would say, people think she's conservative, yet on her Instagram, she's kind of open and wild, in my opinion, more open than I am, but I'm more wild than she is. And I said, Maria, why are you not monetizing the fact that your body is so banging? It's amazing. You look, and you do this for free. Why don't we talk to Ivana and do a collaboration? So that's what happened. And then cut to now, they're on their second edition of the collaboration. And I am having so much fun with this. So back to this idea of being open and conservative. I actually, when I first heard about you, thought you were going to be wild because you go into this store and it's like the sexiest lingerie. And cut to, I know you now, and you're actually not really that person. So how does this happen? Like, how did you come up with this idea for Pampavana, which I tell everyone about? I absolutely love the quality. I love it's made in Argentina. The price points are really good. And to me, it's comparable to any brand doing super well in the US. How did you come up with this idea?
I'm so proud for your words because it's a very hard work. I've been for 6 years with Pampavana. I started 6 years ago. Before it was another brand, but it's a very long story. When I got Pampavana, I imagined that I want a design lingerie, a very like high quality and all what you were saying to me. And I started working with my cousin, that she is a designer. Mm-hmm. We start together the brand, and I think that she has like the most I don't know how to say, like the most
exotic
ideas, and she was like the creator of that exotic ideas. And then we find out that there was a lot of public to that maybe people is conservative.
That's right.
But they like buying some hot stuff for, I don't know, for whatever.
Because you Latin women are like, doesn't get any hotter than the Latin women.
No.
So you knew there was a market for that.
Yes. And we start surprising ourselves because there was a lot of public for that type of lingerie, and it was not so common here in Argentina. You have like very basic brands, very good ones, but more basic. So that's how it started. And I love that we make the collaboration with Maria because you have the idea, and I think that everything in life happens because of something.
A reason.
Yeah, because of a reason. I'm sure about that. So I have the opportunity to meet you and to meet Maria, who I think she works so well with the brand. Uh, she has a very ¿cómo se dice? A very nice body, and but she's very intelligent, and I think that there is a very important combination in her. Like, she has everything, you know, a bit of everything.
And also, it's weird because she'll be nearly naked on her Instagram, but it still looks very like chic and posh. Yes. She never looks trashy. She always looks aspirational, which I love that combination of your brand. But let me ask you a question about you. So once you started to see some of these very sensual designs that your friend was making, there must be something in you that identified with that, because it's like, for me, if I'm going to go into business, I'm not going to sell like polo Ralph Lauren shorts because I don't wear that. So is lingerie so when you go to sleep at night, are you wearing Pompavana? Is it something that makes you feel sexy? There has to be something in you that identifies with that design process.
Yes.
Because you're very involved.
Yes, I'm really involved. And what happened to me for a long time is that it was so hard, the work I have to do. And I have so much, like, trabas, I don't know how to say, like, a lot of obstacles.
Obstacles.
Because of a lot of things, of the daily, you know. So I reached a point where everyone was talking about how big was Pompavana, how beautiful, and how everything, and I hated everything. I was like, I couldn't wear.
Those sexy very designs?
Yeah, it's very hard what I'm saying, but it's the reality, and it's what happens to me for a long time, because I'm alone in the brand, so I have to pay everything, you know. It's like a very hard work for only one person. I have a very, very nice team, and we are all women and we support each other, but it's a lot of pressure. So for a long time, I didn't want to wear anything. And I reached a point where I was like, I have to be proud of what I make.
That's right.
made. So let's see the nice side of this. And I start wearing, for example, the bodies to go out, to have dinner. And maybe my boyfriend always told me,
excited.
You never wear.
Oh, you never wear it to sleep in the bed.
Yeah, you never wear it. But now I'm trying to be like more feeling to feel more sexy, you know. But I'm always like working so hard that it's when I go home, I connect with my kids, and I'm like so tired that sometimes it's hard for me to connect with all that. But now I'm trying to put more effort in that.
Well, that's okay. I'll wear everything, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Yes.
Like, I feel like when I put on Pompavana, I feel like I wake up in the morning and I feel so sexy, and I love that. The business is in so much contrast probably to your upbringing. I mean, your father is a businessman, and he's in the medical industry. Tell me about how having a father who's a CEO, a businessman, maybe affected your point of view about your own body and maybe sexuality. Because I feel like you didn't possibly embrace this sexier side because, you know, you come from a conservative family and your dad's a businessman. Tell me about your father.
Yes, I think that's true. I was born like in a conservative, but not only my family, because I think that my parents raised me in a very like, they let me to be free, you know, to be like, to express my opinions, my ideas. But maybe it's true that I have a very like exposed family. Because
it's public, people know who your father is.
I know. I don't know if all the people, but my father is an entrepreneur, and it's like he moves in all that
the political realm, the business realm.
So I think that you have to take care of your ways of your life, because I always joke and I say, I don't know what I will, I don't know if I have that father, I will be so, because I have a lot of chances to be a model, to be all that. And maybe in that time I was very more younger than now, but I was like, what is going to think my father? What is going to think the people? And I was a little bit judgy, you know, how to say?
Yeah, that's right, judgy.
Now I think that I'm more free because I'm more secure of me.
Mm-hmm.
So now I don't care what someone can tell me, but in a nice way I'm saying it, not in like a egocentric way. I like to hear what people can tell me, what people that love me, but I'm more secure and I do what I think it's correct, because as years went by, go through, I think that life shows me that I was like in the correct way, you know, and I think that is the best way to look into you and see if what you are doing it's okay, or maybe
No, I think what I see about you is you're so incredibly supportive of other women. And that is such a very difficult trait to find in other women. I mean, and this is everywhere. We women are learning to trust each other, and that can be extremely difficult. But I know meeting you, it was like a breath of fresh air for me, because I knew that you had my best interest in mind, and I absolutely have your best interest in mind, of course. But let me ask you a question. Do you have other friends that own businesses, females, essentially? And the reason I talk about female business here is because I have noticed there aren't that many. And in the U.S., and I say this to all my friends here, we have found our power. If you're a woman, you can find loans. I think men have a really bad rap in the U.S. for not being supportive. I believe they're, in my experience, have been incredibly supportive. So are there programs for women that are in place right now? And if not, couldn't you involve some of your other female entrepreneurs, even once you've met through this program or on your own, because I've pretty much learned about people through you. You guys could come together, work together, and you do need to get involved, in my opinion, in order to change policies in a positive way to help your businesses. Is that something you would ever do? And if not, why not?
Yes.
And how can I help?
No, sometimes I do collabs with another friends that have brands, but what really happens here is all the taxes and all that things, because maybe I have friends that had like a brand or but if you have to divide, then the it's very hard. You have to sell a lot. You have to be like very. And that's the problem, I think, here in Argentina, to be like a young person that you want to have your brand or you want to have your emprendimiento. It's very hard to find people support you, because who is going to trust you at the beginning? Nobody. So I think that in Argentina we have to have more people of the politics wanting these young people, me and everybody, but people who wants to start, who has a dream, who has a very good idea, to help them grow, you know?
Now also, and we're going to get back into your history a little bit, people know who you are. Like, I know you don't go out to try to have people know who you are or be famous in any way. And part of that is because when you were younger, you dated somebody in the public eye, which I kind of want to talk about. People, it's interesting because when I ask about, what things sell here in the media, it's always about drama and relationships. So let's get into that a little bit about you. So tell me about your relationship that was in the public eye, because I know when I Googled you, I saw a lot of pictures of you with a guy, paparazzi pictures. So tell me about him.
I was very young when I met him. I was in a disco.
And who was he?
He's a very famous TV producer. I don't names. I have to name him now.
No, you don't have to name him.
No.
It's not important.
The thing is that I never met him again. You know, I don't know what is going through his life. Maybe he continues in the TV product. In this, ¿cómo se dice?
TV
maybe
producing.
he continues doing that work. I don't know. In that time, I was very young. I went to Tequila, to the disco. That it's a very famous...
which I hear about every week, and I never can go because you Argentines start partying at 2 a.m, and I am dead asleep at that time.
Now it's open again because it was closed for a long time, and everyone was like, when Tequila is open? I was there with my cousin. We were there. We went because we were bored one Saturday, and I told her, let's go to Tequila. So I met him. He was in a sofa, very dark. I don't know, like in the VIP, you know. And we start talking. And he was I don't know. We start talking. I took my cousin to her home because she was in my car, and then I went the first night to sleep with him. But no. But nothing happens.
Second.
I was
oh, okay, that's good.
Because I knew who he was.
Yeah.
And I was how
and he was
weird.
Super famous.
Yeah, he was super famous. He was not mediatic, but he was super famous. And once he told me it was so weird for me how get up and walk to that side, and I was like, what? It was
Wait, what does that mean?
He wanted to see, I don't know, my
Were you
body.
naked?
I don't know.
Oh my!
No, I was not naked.
Oh.
It was the whole situation was weird, and then I didn't have a phone because it broke. It was broken, and I told him, I give you my sister's phone, so if you want, call her. And my sister is an actress. So when she was Sebastián Ortega is calling, she was like, what the fuck?
She probably thought he was calling for a job.
No, he was so I don't know. It was a very funny anecdote, how to say, situation. I dated him I don't remember how many years, but it was very fast, you know. When we were 2 weeks, in 2 weeks he told me, I want to be your boyfriend. Very passionate. I was pregnant. I lost it. We were going to get married, and in all the middle of that, his ex-girlfriend was dating Marcelo Tinelli, who is a very famous. So it was, and they supposed to be friends. I don't know because I never seen them together. They were colegas. They were
colleagues. Yeah.
I never, and it was all a chaos that my name was in all the magazines, and it was like a movie. But from then, people start knowing me. But after that, I think that I make my name, you know. Some people don't know that I date that guy.
But you were all over the tabloids.
Yeah, I was very young. If I look back, I of course I will do a lot of things different. You know, I have a little daughter. He was so nice with her.
Wait, did you love him?
Yeah, I love him a lot.
Oh.
Yes, I was really in love. But then I start realizing that it was not the way I was going to I don't know, the way I want to be in my life, you know, because it's hard to be by the side of a very strong person, man. Yeah. And I don't know if I could do that. I was very young. I was no.
But now, after that time, you didn't speak to him ever again?
No, never again.
And and it's such a small town, you never ran into him?
Never. But then I was with my next boyfriend, that is the father of my little kid.
And he was a model?
Yeah, he was a model, and it was very fast, you know. When we were down and 6 months, I met Tommy, and we have a kid really fast.
And how was it? How old were you then? How was it being a young mom? Were you?
Yes, I was a mom when I was 20. It
Okay.
was like,
That's a good age. I think 20 is not in America now. People are having kids so much later. Like my brother's 36 and he can't even think about having a kid. 20 is pretty young, but maybe not for Argentina.
no, I think it's very young, you know. I love my Juana is like the best person in the world. It's like, but maybe I should have waited a bit because I think that I'm now a much better mom with Suri than that I was with Juana when I was 20, because now I have a lot more, I go with to the school, to all the to all my responsibilities, all the meetings of the
And
school.
you didn't with Juana.
I
you
was
were
like
young.
a little more disconnect. Now I'm super connect with my maternity, you know.
When you were in your 20s and you have a new kid, did you go out? Did you? Because sometimes when people have kids really young, they stop socializing, they get very internal. Or were you having, or they go the opposite, they get crazy?
No, I'm of Cancer, you know, and that sign is like I'm a mom.
Both my kids are Cancer.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
I love being a mom. I always took the responsibility to be like a good mom. I have a lot of when Juani was born, I was like, I was enfocated in her. My friends were going out to dance, tequila, and all that, and I was like, Juana's father is it was for a long time my boyfriend, so I was going to marry him. And when Juana was 2 years old, I say, I don't want to marry you. I don't want to be with you for the rest of my life. Only one man. No.
Well, I think that's really different and brave of you because from what I've seen in Argentina, you guys all get married and have like 40 kids and it's like a tribe for the rest of your life. Do you have other friends that are like you that you could look up to, that you could understand what you were going through being a young mom, not being married? Because that's not really traditional values here in Argentina. And do you think people judged you?
No, I think that I consider me a very brave person. I'm very brave, and I know that. Because it's very hard to get separate with a very little kid, and I made it twice. And I think that I was like very sure of what I wanted. It was a very difficult decision because it's not easy to say, okay, I don't want to share my daily life with you anymore. But I'm very I can't lie. I can't be like in a place and be in another one. So for me, it was like the best I could do and the best I could do for my kids, you know?
And what did your family think about that?
No, I think that they don't get into it as long as they see me happy. And what you were saying is true. Argentina is very like traditional in that way, but it's so weird because most of the couples I know, they cheat each other, you know, and it's like wow. But I think that a lot of people do that, like an open couple because they get bored, or maybe because they find a way to figure it out. Just because it's very hard to be on a relationship. Relationships are hard. You change every time, you know. You are not the same person that you met when you were young, that you are before, you are after. It happens a lot of things during the life that change your mind, your point of view. So I think that that's really I'm really proud of that when I decided not to be anymore, I didn't cheat. I was like, I don't want this anymore. I'm not happy. I like to be with people who help me grow, that are to be a team, you know.
Well, so when you were that age and you had Juana and she was a kid, what did you want to do with your life? Like, did that differ completely from what you're doing now? If you could look at yourself back then, would you have ever thought you would be where you are now? What did you want to do with your life?
I think that what I do now is because this that I was telling you about to be brave, because when I was dating Juana's father, I used to be a model, but I was not a model. It was like something I do for fun, and I was. They told me to do this, to do the photos of this brand of Pompavana, and and Nico, that in that moment Juana's father, told me, no, you are not going to do that, because it was like in lingerie, you know, it was like, and I say, I want to do this, I will go. And that is how it started, because I knew these girls that own the brand, and they told me, then they told me to be like
a partner.
To be a partner with them. So that is how it started. And I think that that's the secret of life, you know, to be brave, to go for what you want, not to let anyone tell you what is right, what is not, what you can do or what you cannot. So I think that's why I could do this of Pompavana, to keep it going, because it's hard to make a brand keep going, you know?
Well, I mean, I noticed that you do photo shoots with your models all the time. You're advertising. I mean, you are actively working on this brand. To top it off, again, the category of lingerie is killing it, because young girls right now, all the influencers, all the celebrities, they are wearing lingerie out.
Yes.
So it's become a staple, not only for the bedroom, but more so, I would say, for the everyday.
Yes, sure. That my first event was like Pompavana goes to street or something like that.
Oh,
like hashtag Pompavana goes out. And I think that it's not that I was like the inventor of that, because of course not. But I made that with Pompavana, like girls to use that to go out, to have dinner, to go. I'm very young girls, and now I see my photos when I was like 15, and I see girls of 15 now
wearing Pompavana.
And I can't believe the change, how everything changes. And I think that's great, because women now are more like
liberated.
Yeah, liberated. I see that in young people, you know, they come with other ideas. They are like more, maybe they are dating 2 guys at a time, and I say wow, or make like trios, and I was wow, if I was young and I do that, threesomes, and I was like,
well, welcome to LA. That happens every day. What are your top selling bodies? Because I know that sometimes as a business owner, I had a design company. We did athleisure wear. My idea as a CEO was what I thought was selling until I saw the hard numbers was completely different than what I thought in my mind. So what is selling for you the most right now? Your top bodies?
Yeah, the bodies.
The bodysuits.
Yeah, the bodysuits.
And do you think that's because people can wear them on the street?
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe famous people or influencers that I like that use the brand. And I have a lot of friends, you know, I make like a community of girls that they know they come to Pompavana and they can find something for each person, no? For each body. And I think that's the way I make Pompavana famous, because everyone thinks that Pompavana is because of my name, and it has nothing to. But that was I was talking about before, like everything happens for a sense, and everything is connected, and everything happens for a reason. And then when you grow up, you start seeing all that things, and you start realizing a lot of things. And no, the bodysuits are like my best sellers, and they are like the things that makes Pompavana what it is, you know?
Well, I was surprised when I came into your shop because, you know, Gwyneth Paltrow, who actually is pretty conservative, if you go into her shop, Goop, in Santa Barbara, you know, she's selling high-end designers and she's selling sex toys. I didn't see any sex toys in your store, nor not a lot of accessories either. And a lot of these companies that are doing well in the US are doing all of that. What is your thought on sex toys? Because I actually had this discussion with some of my Argentine girlfriends. If you go to America, every girl, including myself, owns a vibrator or two. Here, I ask girls, do you have a vibrator? And they're like, no, I would never. And so is there a market for that? Because the other day I was at actually a pharmacy in Canning, and right near the cash register was a vibrator.
Oh,
so
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
so
I didn't-
is it because it's not normalized here? And would you go into that market? Because I think there's actually a market for it.
I think that at the beginning, when I make all these designs, people didn't understand.
Yep.
What was Pompavana? If it was like a brand of a sex shop, what it was, and I sell some vibrators it was like Valentine's Day.
Okay.
And I put it like I make a box,
A gift box.
yeah, a gift box, but it was like a secret box, you know. It was not so
Wasn't like, here's the vibrator.
yeah, it was not like that.
And did it do well?
Yeah, I do well, but then I realized that I want Pompavana to be like more suspense, you know, to be like
elevated.
more, yeah, mysterious.
Oh,
It's
mysterious. Oh, that's a good point.
yeah, because it's a vibrator. It's so like, you know, you see it and
Like porn
you
shop.
know what you have to do with that, but not to show. I don't know how to explain it, but to more fantasy. I want to sell more fantasy, more like that.
Well, that can be included with a vibrator, but it's probably just maybe not your customer.
No, because as I have a teenage daughter of 15 years
Yeah,
old,
you don't want her to go in there and be like,
no,
what is
no,
this,
but
Mom?
I think that she can watch everything and then she will choose what she likes when she's older. But I think that I like her and her friends to wear my bodies to go out. Now they are starting to party, and I think that I live in a very conservative community.
Yeah.
Very
I see
Catholic,
that.
very. So, I want all that people to buy my brand and to let their kids to wear something of Pompavana
And feel comfortable.
Yeah, and feel
I see that. I
comfortable,
think it's
you
a
know?
really smart choice on your part. Maybe because people aren't ready for that yet. But I did hear that they're opening like a super high-end, or
Yeah.
they have sex shop
Yeah.
in a mall. What mall is that?
Alto Palermo. I was
We gotta
there
go.
in the other day. We gotta go. I was going to go. I was like very hurry, but it's like very big shop, and it's a sex shop in a shopping.
That
you
is
know?
great. We don't even have that in the U.S.
No.
That's
I was
crazy.
talking with the people of IRSA, that it's the people of the shopping, and they were like very expectant to do that before it was open. It was like,
People, you
Yeah.
think they're excited about it?
yeah, they were very excited about it because
So-
it was something so new here in Argentina, that people are conservative. But I know that today, nowadays, there are a lot of extranjeros, a lot of
Foreigners
foreign,
coming in.
Yeah, foreign people, a lot. And I think that Argentina, I've heard today in the newspaper, I read today that restaurants are like colapsados
No.
of people of foreign people, and they don't even watch the prices, you know, of the menu. They don't watch the prices, and
Because
that's what
it's so cheap for them.
it's so cheap for people to come to. And there are very good restaurants here in Argentina.
Oh, I know. I've been to a lot of them. They're amazing. Would you do okay, so here's the thought. If you don't want to carry vibrators or sex toys in your store, do you think it would be something you might be interested in doing a small collection for that shop in that mall?
Yeah.
That's a very good way to get into that market without messing up your brand image.
I was selling my clothes in a sex shop that it was open there in the same avenue in
Okay.
Avenida Santa Fe, not
Yeah.
in the shopping, not near, and it was a very big brand that came from outside, and they opened like a very big sex shop, and they had to close it. The thing is that all the COVID and all that, it was before that, so they closed it and they never open again. But we sell there. our clothes.
And did it do well?
Yeah, I do well. It do well. It was like a compliment, you know. It was not so, but it would be a good idea.
Yeah, I think it would. Now, I noticed too the last category, and I think a really smart one, that it seems to be a running theme for all these women influencers, the fashion models, and the famous people in Argentina. You have beauty at your store, and like really good quality. Is that a big market target for you? And are you going to expand that? Would you like to sell Pompa Ivana makeup in other stores? What's your plan with the makeup? Because I think that's, the markups on makeup are huge. You can make a lot of money on makeup.
No, this Pompa Ivana Beauty was an idea I had once that I couldn't sleep. And I called my one friend of my family that is involved in that lab. It's very famous. It makes they make a lot of famous creams like Adermicina, Bengue. It's very important here in Argentina. And I told him we have to do creams, we have to do beauty products. The thing is that as I'm not a dermatologist, and I don't have a team of it's hard to involve in that because it's people start asking what is my type of skin, so it's very hard to do everything.
It's true.
I have that. It's very I'm how do you say estoy, ¿cómo se llama? Respaldada. I'm support with a very huge lab behind.
Yes.
So that's very good because people see in the see who made that product, the prospect and all that.
It's just a complicated business for you to take on. I totally understand.
Because I have to do that only, it's another side of the
Well, maybe that's a chance for you to do cross-marketing with other companies where you get Pompa Ivana's name and let them, there's
I have
other ways to do
pending
it.
that.
Oh, good.
Because I sell a lot of products of beauty.
Well, I think you need an energy drink. An energy drink. Like Red Bull?
Yeah.
Pompa Ivana. Make a sexy energy drink and you're going to be a billionaire. I love it. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today. I'm such a huge fan. I am so grateful to have walked into your store and grateful to have met you. And I cannot wait for all the businesses that we come up with together because I know that I talked to you about a lot of things that I want to do here. And you are the go-to woman to make that happen.
And
thank you for producing on this show.
No.
I couldn't have done it without you. And I appreciate your brain, your mind, your beauty, everything.